we're really trying to target and work on right now. On the prevention side, how we can get an educational message out to the youth where they don't think it's, you know, one of those silly messages telling them don't do it. It's more so relating it back to we're seeing cancer-causing chemicals are still in the e-juices, and I'll touch on that briefly in a second. So I'm going to pass this around while I pull up one last chance of this computer. You can see this was taken through All on Boards. They do every other year a survey, and they send it out in the school for 7th, 9th, 11th graders throughout the high school and middle school. And it gets us an idea of what's happening locally here. In the past 30 days, these kids have reported alcohol drinking, their perception of harm, which they don't see, very little perception of harm, parental disapproval, and peer disapproval. So I'll let you guys kind of just take a look at that and pass that around. And you'll see, sadly, most of these youth don't see alcohol, tobacco, prescription pills risky at all. So that's something we're tackling, their perception.
I think a lot of youths don't see the cause effect on many things they do.
Exactly.
I certainly didn't, and I don't think some of my kids did.
It takes little activities like budgeting out, you know, what would it cost to buy tobacco products for a year's end? And even that, you know, money doesn't click to them. I was talking with someone the other day.
It's mom or dad's debit card, what the heck?
Exactly. And I was talking to somebody the other day and getting an idea of how, I think it's, you know, the millennial Zs, I think that's the name, how their brain thinks around things, and it's all in the moment. There is no 1 week's plan. When we talk to 6th graders in the middle school and we give them an activity, if you know you had $100, what would you spend it on? And only one kid in the whole class, and we teach 4 classes throughout the day, only one kid said, well, I'll save the money and invest it. Everyone was just trying to blow the money. And we asked them why, and it comes down to living in the moment. They're not thinking ahead. So I think this plays a part with why we're seeing some perceptions very low.
I think my wife still lives in the moment on that budget. Oh, there's money in the check.
Gotta bring her in.
31 years, that hasn't happened. I don't think it's gonna.
Absolutely. And you guys, since this, I'm not getting it to work, but I will send you the presentation that we cover, and you'll have in detail notes and pictures. I do apologize.
It's okay.
It seems like everybody's had technology problems in this building.
I'm disappointed because I usually don't. I'm very tech savvy, so this is not my favorite, but I can always work on my knowledge here, so I don't need pictures to back it up, other than you guys want to see what I'm talking about. But while she's looking at that, you guys can kind of see up here some of the concealment stuff that we're seeing. All this stuff was bought at Carolina Place Mall. These are flasks. You've got hairbrush flask. I'll kind of pass these down. This right here is mouthwash, hand sanitizer. So we warn teachers a lot of the times, you know, do a double check what you're looking at, what you're seeing on the student's desk, looking for the signs and symptoms of, you know, impairment.
That's a flask, huh?
That's a flask.
That is a flask.
It's horrible.
This is an umbrella. Maybe if you took this off, you would probably have no idea that this is also a flask. So, you know, something we see in schools.
And these are flasks right here?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Everything up here, shampoo, hair bottle, sunscreen, take it out on the beach to get away, you know, hide their alcohol, and then tampon flasks. And what teacher's gonna question that? Yes.
Okay, I gotta see that.
Yeah. And then once we get into our little smoking section, I will show you some vaping pens and then how they're getting away with it. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't mean to be crude, guys.
Oh, you're not. Every time I bring this and my little bin of stuff, people like, I cannot believe. And that right there we'll talk about, because that's very interesting.
Wow. So Okay, so this flask,
I'm sorry, it's just,
company,
it's just, like a,
Oh, yeah.
what do you call it when we
like a
chemistry?
syringe or something?
Chemistry.
Oh, the
we can-
tubes, yeah,
we can-
that's tubes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Smuggle your booze.com.
Man.
Is that who?
yeah,
all
this is smuggleyourbooze.com.
Mhm. Spencer's Gift Shop is
That's what I was thinking.
the
right.
hub. Yes,
Oh.
the absolute hub.
Spencer's?
Spencer's Gift Shop.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so they're targeting, I would say, people under 21.
Yeah.
Very much so,
I mean,
yes.
this is obviously.
Right.
And that's what this presentation is
Sorry.
really
Probably even
covering.
younger than that.
Yeah, and how are they targeting? That's what we're going to get into, the appeal, the marketing aspects of it. And so if my handy dandy laptop worked, you can kind of see in this picture, which I'll send out to you, how the alcohol industry hones in on the popular brands that youth love. Gatorade, Monster, and so Smirnoff Ice, all of these will go and tailor their colored drinks, their flavorings, based off of the go-to drink that kids grow up knowing. And I work with retailers in the community here that get a citation. I'm the AET coordinator. And so half the time I ask these retailers, do you know where your products are in your store? Alcohol versus the Gatorade. And they think they do, but back in that back wall, you've got your Gatorade right next to your Bud Light. And so your youth are getting associated and seeing this at a young age. So, very crazy. So this is where I'm going to get in a little bit of trends that we're seeing happening with youth. I'm going to talk about some name brands. This one's called Box Drinks, but specifically this one right here is Beat Box. It's a party-sized box, contains 5 liters of nearly 7 bottles of wine or any other mixed alcohol drink. Now, think about our youth. Our youth don't want something where they're going to have to sit there and mix the rum with the flavoring. They want it ready to made, ready to drink. And this is high potency, so you're looking at 11.1% alcohol by volume or higher. We know our Four Locos, those very potent ones, are just as strong as this, so it's a one and done party in a box for them. Let alone the box wines, which we're probably all
Where do you
familiar
get
with.
that?
So this Beat Box, I don't think retailers around here sell it. I think you have to order online or Walmart. I would assume Walmart would have it. Not 100% sure on that. The other things we're seeing is with the low calorie wine, it's luring people in for the fact that, well, I'm not getting calories off of my drinking, and we're seeing issues for the female population that are trying to stay skinny in a very unhealthy manner, and so there's really no food in their system when they're going out drinking, and they're consuming this, which is essentially binge drinking in a box. So that's definitely the scary one. Alco Pops are a big one, and this is where that Four Loko category falls into. Twisted Teas, your Lime-A-Ritas by Bud Light, the Margarita brand. All these are high potent in your alcohol by volume, so it's one can and done for them. And a lot of the youth will honestly tell me, because I ask them and seem to create a trust with, will tell me, well, it's easy for me to just chug it and then get it out of my hands so they're drunk. And if, an officer or someone were to try to come by, they're not in possession at the moment of a beer or that can. So it gets them drunk very, very quickly. And Four Loko, to this day, has been around for years, and it's still the #1 go-to drink for our youth. Over here, Everclear, this is something that's been around for years. The Hunch Punch Jungle Juices. But why I brought this in here is because our alcohol industry has so much money. We're talking just like the tobacco industry. They know how to outpower anybody. And so Everclear in Maryland, they try to put a ban on anything that's 190 proof. We don't need 190 proof, and that's what Everclear is. So the alcohol industry said, okay, whatever. So they made it 189 proof, and they're being sold on the shelves, and that's how they can get away.
Wow.
They can get away through the cracks in the system. So I always love throwing that one in. You tackle one thing with a success, and then you turn your back and you got something else to tackle. The microbrews are a big thing, but with every microbrew, your craft beer breweries popping up at every corner now, it's hit its peak. So we're starting to hit a plateau with our craft beer industry, which to me, anything in the alcohol world, when it starts to plateau, is a big warning sign, because their wheels are turning, trying to figure out, well, what can we do next? What's going to put us right back up on the peak? So that's where our craft distillers are right now on a rise. So we're going from about high 4.5 or higher percent beers to now our liquors. And these are things that are aged, your aged whiskeys in the barrels, all these different things. So they're constantly experimenting, trying to find the newest invention. And Fireball, Fireball is kind of, you know, the original one that led the path for our craft distillers. So they always quote and say we're trying to be, you know, the next Fireball. And that stuff, you could light that on fire. The Fireball is very flammable. So this is something you probably have heard about in the news. I know this came out of a news article, household products. Specifically your hand sanitizers. We're seeing hospitalizations happen at Piedmont with our young youth that are consuming hand sanitizer because there is alcohol in it, but it's a different type of alcohol. It's not a drinking kind. So this
So
is
kids are trying to drink it?
Isopropyl
yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent to taking a 120 proof shot. And so we talked Everclear's 180, 120 shot is still extremely potent, and we're thinking about our young kids who, you know, height, weight, the body fat, it's not all developed yet. So that's a huge one. Another thing we're seeing is Listerine. They're drinking the Listerine. That has 26.9% alcohol, so roughly 50 proof, an average bottle of vodka or something like that. And they're getting really tipsy off of it. We're seeing kids take this from the parents' medicine cabinets, things like this, where you don't think twice to lock up your Listerine bottle. But it's something we tell parents just to be aware of. It's no different than, you know, marking with a permanent marker on your alcohol bottle to make sure you know, last time you as an adult used it, and you can keep track of the levels of what's being poured
Next
out.
time you're drinking, it takes water down because they added some water with it.
Well, then put
That's the other trick.
put it in the freezer and see what freezes. If half of it freezes,
Right.
they've tricked you. He's saying they're pouring the ones that are, yeah. So absolutely crazy. The other one is, well, the absolute dangerous one is our rubbing alcohol, the isopropyl, like you said, because that is not a edible drinking form of alcohol. It hasn't been through all the proofing and the whole processing, and that right there is absolutely deadly and flammable. And then vanilla extract, so our cooking in our kitchen cabinet, and lemon extract, 35% alcohol.
Oh, God.
Yes. So these are the things that more so we can track and see signs and symptoms of, you know, when the kids are using, if they're taking your alcohol in the household, things like that. But these things that we don't think twice about is the hard things to keep tabs on. Now this one, I always like to put it in, but I don't want to scare anybody because South Carolina does not have it legalized, but it doesn't mean it couldn't come in time. It's called palcohol. And palcohol is essentially powdered alcohol. Could be snorted, it could be put in any form of liquid, and it's ready to make drinks. So we're talking mojitos, strawberry margarita flavoring, cosmopolitans, ready to drink flavors. So all it takes is opening the pill, dropping it in, and you're drinking it. And so far 28 states, including North Carolina and South Carolina, have banned anything with powdered alcohol. Like I said, you just never know. So it's something, and it's on the black market. You can get it on eBay. You can get it anywhere. So youth have access to the computer. They have access to potentially getting the
And
alcohol.
that actually has alcohol in it, in the drops?
Yes.
So how potent it is, or what's the proof of that?
That's what it can hold up to 60% of its own weight in alcohol. I don't have a percentage, but what I have is it's instantly a binge drinking option for them because it's very potent, most likely.
So they mix it with like Sprite or Coke?
Or water.
Or water?
So it has a flavor.
Because the flavor's done. All you gotta do, and that's why many states have they've banned it because people could smuggle it into sporting events,
Oh, yeah.
games like
They
that.
take the powder with them and just add it to a bottle of water and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just looks like maybe it could be clear, or it could look like, our Crystal Light mixes, things like that.
Wow.
So, I always bring this up. We all know what moonshine is, but it's still out there and it's still relevant among the youth because why? It's a high alcohol percentage and that's what they want. A quick buzz. Now this next one looks so delicious but concerning for our youth, and it's called Snow Bar. And Snow Bar is essentially alcohol infused ice cream. And the grocery stores are starting to sell this. The BP right up the street here on, what is that, Celanese, they don't have Snowproof, they have another brand that's moonshine infused ice cream. Very high proof, and it's no different than alcohol other than it's in a food form essentially, so the body has to absorb it. It's going to take more time for them to feel a drunk feel, which means they're going to be consuming more of it, thinking, oh, one more scoop will get me that buzz. So, and this one's showing grasshopper. Another one, it says frozen cocktail, a full cocktail in every serving. I don't know about y'all, but I don't just have one serving of ice cream. And I know the kids aren't either. Yes, 3 scoops. You've got 3 cocktails in your hand then at that point. So that's a very concerning. And I came from Charleston area. I went to college in Charleston, and even in college, this was popping up on the block everywhere. Bars.
I disrupted now.
Yeah.
I sincerely did because that's where I first heard it.
In Charleston. Well,
For
yeah.
sure.
And the bars in the back, they make this in popsicle form,
Yeah.
so you're walking around with a popsicle with that's a full cocktail. Sherbet.
Sorbet.
You must know a little bit. But yeah, good old Snow Bar.
Yeah.
The next one's hard seltzers, and the picture behind this is showing White Claw. White Claw's huge right now, especially with the female population, because it's a low sugar, low calorie drink, and it's very high alcohol percentage. So you're getting the best of both worlds, but we know because of that it's always dangerous.
What was the brand name?
Oh, sorry. So this one's Barefoot,
Okay.
and it's a seltzer water,
Okay.
and the one behind it's called White Claw.
White Claw.
She knows.
This is so.
You should teach this. The last one, we actually do, I didn't bring out all my stuff because I was a little late, but in this bag back here before you leave, pop in and look at some of the stuff I have. But the last ones are whipped cream. And this whipped cream's 18.25 alcohol by volume. So a squeeze of this, maybe on top of your already cocktail Snow Bar ice cream, just tops you off.
Get you.
Where do
I
you
always
buy?
thought those were
Where do you buy
whippets.
this stuff at?
This stuff can be bought at liquor stores, right up the counter. It could be a promotion. You can buy it anywhere.
And that Snow Bar and all that stuff, you said, like at the BP, you were saying.
Yeah.
So it's back there with the beer and wine? And
Actually, right at the front register, there's a big ice cream case right at the front register. Yes. It was funny because somebody sent me, one of my officers sent me a picture of this, to talk about my prep class to the retailers, and I had no idea it was this BP until I went in to pay for gas. And I'm like, well, there you are. I found you. It's right here, front and center, which you'll notice a lot of alcohol advertisements, the tobacco industry, most of their advertisements are right in the front by the counter, but they're not going to be somewhere where we see it. It's usually hip level and down. And who are they trying to target?
Kids.
Hip level and down. Yeah.
When you put in a search on eBay for, say, the
Alcohol?
what's the brand?
Let me backtrack to that. It is, I'm pretty sure it's just called Palcohol, Palcohol.
Yeah, I have that.
Is that what it?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure what kind of regulations eBay has when it comes to restricting this stuff, but I'm sure you can fit through the cracks with that. Okay, so we're gonna move on into the e-cigarette trends, because that's the one, not only we know alcohol's dangerous, it's the #1 used thing among our youth, but e-cigarettes are the trending thing. And if anyone knows Miss Janet Martini, she's always on top of things at Keystone, and she confiscated one of these from our youth. But this right here is a mod device. This red thing, it is the vaping pen. Now there's different forms of vapes out there and cigarettes. This one specifically is used just for fun, for that big cloud of smoke. We asked the kids, why do you pick this one over the little, it looks like a cigarette kind of